You're not supposed to do that. Oh, no. Why are you doing that? Ugh, technology. No, let's put some music on. This is just trying to test me to see if I'm truly resilient. Maybe don't do that.
Ciao, bella, ciao, bella, ciao, 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 artigiano, me voy contigo porque me siento aquí morir. Y si yo caigo en la guerrilla, oh, bella, ciao, bella, ciao, bella, ciao, 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 si yo caigo en la guerrilla, te dejaré mi fusil. Cava una fosa en la montaña, bella, ciao, bella, ciao, bella, ciao. Cava una fosa en la montaña, a la sombra de una flor. Así la gente cuando la vea, bella, ciao, bella, ciao, bella, ciao, ciao, ciao. Así la gente cuando la vea gritará revolución. Esta es la historia del guerrillero. Bella, ciao, bella, ciao, bella, ciao, ciao, ciao. Es la historia de un guerrillero muerto por la libertad. He puesto el fiore del partigiano. Bella, ciao, bella, ciao, bella, ciao, ciao, ciao. Questo è il fiore del partigiano morto per la libertà. E questo è il fiore del partigiano muerto por la libertà. Esta es la historia de un guerrillero muerto por la libertad.
Capital One and Hotels.com are giving.
Esta mañana me he levantado. Oh, bella, ciao, bella, ciao, bella, ciao, ciao, ciao. Esta mañana me he levantado y he descubierto al invasor. Oh, partigiano, me voy contigo. Oh, bella, ciao, bella, ciao, bella, ciao, ciao, ciao. Partigiano, me voy contigo porque me siento aquí morir. Y si chao, chao, chao. Si yo caigo en la guerrilla, te dejaré mi fusil. Cava una fosa en la montaña. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao. Cava una fosa nella montagna a la sombra de una flor. Así la gente cuando la vea. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Así la gente cuando la vea gritará revolución. Esta es la historia del guerrillero. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Es la historia de un guerrillero muerto por la libertad. He puesto el fiore del partigiano. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Questo è il fiore del partigiano morto per la libertà. E questo è il fiore del partigiano morto por la libertà. Esta es la historia de un guerrillero muerto por la libertad.
Are you FaceTiming me? Okay. Technical troubles. Always technical troubles. Welcome to my YouTube live book party launch. I think I'm live, but I think I better check and make sure. I am live because I just went to the page and it says I'm live. I don't want to hear myself. Welcome. Thank you, everybody who's here. I can see that people are joining us. I am broadcasting from my home in Oakland, California, May 1st. Thank you, Jesse. To celebrate the birthday of my new book, Onward. Onward, there's a big poster of it behind me, and then here it is. This book is the reason I feel like I'm here on this planet. And before I forget, it has a companion workbook that is heavy. I'm so excited to share these with you guys, and decided to do this event to share a little bit about this book and what it means to me. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's going to happen this evening, but first I want to ask you, if you're out there and you're watching, please tell me you're here. If you put your name in the comments and tell me where you are, I'll be so grateful, because it'll just help me feel like I'm not just alone here. Me and the green light. But that's not the only reason why you want to do that. I am going to give away 3 books this evening. I'm going to sign them and include a special inscription to the winners of these 3 book giveaways. In order to enter that giveaway, you need to put your name in the comments. So go ahead in the chat box, and whenever you're ready, put your name, your location, and let me tell you what's going to happen this evening. First, I want to tell you a little bit about Onward. I'm going to read a little section from it. I'm going to tell you some juicy facts about the book, the cover, the date, the dedication. Then I am going to introduce you to my little family. My husband and son are here, and they're going to pop in for a visit. I'm going to share a workbook activity with you that you can start doing tomorrow at school or at work. And then if you have questions, I'll answer some questions. Hi, Cheryl and Janet and Lori. Thank you guys for being here. It's so great to have you here. And I can see that there's other people watching who will hopefully also say hi. I've been saying that this is the birthday of these books, and I thought I would share with you a little bit first about why I say that. I was born to a family that told me that I'm alive to help change the world, make it a better place. And the lessons that I learned from them about transformation and changing the world were coupled with lessons about how to live and enjoy life and thrive and dance and play music and have rich communities all over the world. And I learned a lot from them, and I feel a responsibility to pass that on to my children. Hi, Jessie and Katie. I have one wonderful child, and the plan was always to have more children. And those children didn't happen, and that's okay. But I do feel like I put the lessons that I learned from my family, the lessons I've learned in my life, into my books, and those are my babies now. My hope is that this book will be the beginning of a new kind of movement in education. Really, I would say an expansion of many other movements that have gone before, and the beginning of a new way to include our emotions and the full spectrum of who we are as human beings into our experience in schools, with each other, with our children, that we will find a way to transform our schools and create the kinds of equitable and just societies that so many of us yearn for, while also attending to our minds, our bodies, our souls, our spirits. And this book might offer a contribution. If you came a little bit earlier, I had a slideshow that I was showing that I think I would now actually like to show you in case you missed that, because it's got some images in it that have to do with why I wrote this book. And so this is one reason. And I can see that the logo is obscuring the text there, but what I wrote there is, this is why we must bolster our resilience, because if we want to confront power, we need to make demands. And in order for us to confront power, we need to have tremendous reserves of energy. Surround yourself with the resilient. This is a tip for resilience boosting. Find the people who contribute to your resilience, who inspire you, who help you to stay hopeful and gain perspective. For me, one of those people is Desmond Tutu. There's so many people I want to thank. This is Kate, and she was my editor at Jossie Bass until just a few months ago. And this was actually when she delivered The Art of Coaching Teens to me a couple of years ago. I'm so grateful to her. And to my little family, who I'm going to introduce you to in a moment. That's my dad. And I actually think that he's out there online joining us from Costa Rica. I hope so. He's helped me find a tremendous reserve of resilience in nature. And finally, there's my mom. She was my guide in so many ways. Now I want to find my grandparents, so I'm clicking through all this stuff. There are my grandparents, and this book is dedicated to them. And I know I'm going to click through these other things. There they are. Many of you have seen this picture of them, me as a baby meeting them for the first time. My grandparents, there is the acknowledgement in the book. They personified resilience. They also spent pretty much their whole lives fighting for social justice. And they loved me a whole lot. There's my grandma at age 14 at a demonstration. And my grandma and her friends at the beach. That's her where the arrow is pointing. She played hard. So I'm going to come back to me now. Whoops, how did it come back to me? Right there. There I am. Still working on the technology here, you guys. My hope, as I said, is that this book is taken up by educators, by groups of educators who will read this and use it to guide their learning across the period of a year to cultivate their resilience, and with those reserves of energy that we find, use that surplus to not only enjoy life more, but to transform our schools. I'm going to tell you some fun facts, but before I tell you some fun facts, I want to remind you, if you're out there watching or listening, to put your name in and the location from which you're viewing, because in just a little bit we're going to have some giveaways, and I can see, I'm just reading the list of people who are here, and thank you to all of the wonderful people who have joined us. Okay, I'm going to tell you a few fun facts. So the cover of the book, well, you can see it is behind me, although the sun is now shining on the cover and making a mighty, mighty bright reflection. Wait, I've got these books all over the place now. So let's see. There we go. So on the cover of the book is a cenote, and that is an underground reservoir of water in the Yucatan that the ancient Maya, as well as the contemporary Maya, consider as sacred and consider as a place in between the worlds. It is a cool, most temperature cool, peaceful, tranquil place. One of the most sort of amazing spaces on the earth that I've ever been in. And I think about resilience as something that is within us that we can tap into, as well as that we can grow, that we can contribute to and add to. So I've long said that May 1st is Onward's birthday. I was really intent on getting it out by May 1st so that all of you could start your learning in this book on June 1st, because the book is, the chapters in the book are matched up to the cycle of an educator. And so, for example, there's a chapter that is correlated to August that is focused on building community. Actually, I think that one's September. I need to get my chapters straight. There's a chapter for the springtime, for April, focused on managing change, because so many of us go through so much change in the springtime working in schools. And so all of the habits, the behaviors that are explored in Onward, and there's 12 key habits of resilient educators, correlate to a month. And so my hope is that you'll read them in that month, because resilience takes a while to build. And the workbook, there are 30 activities for every month that correlate to the chapter. And that you can start right in June. But there was another reason why I determined that May 1st would be Onward's birthday. And that is because my grandparents, to whom the book is dedicated, were married on May 1st. And as many of you hopefully know, May 1st is International Workers' Day. My grandparents were politically active, and they were married in New York in the morning. They got to City Hall right when it opened. They got married, and then they jumped on the subway and went downtown for a demonstration. And I'm actually wearing my grandmother's wedding ring. It is the thinnest, cheapest, silver, very tarnished band that they could afford. That was all they could afford. And I'm wearing it now. My grandparents were together until my grandfather died and in his 60s, and they are forever models for me of how to live, how to love, how to deal with challenges, how to change a system. That's the date. And the title, Onward. What else could I call this? This is about galvanizing your inner resources to change the world, fight the system, create the world we can all thrive in. I started writing this book on January 2nd, 2016. It took about 2 years to write. I want to introduce you now to a couple of key players in my life and who saw the birth of this book, and that's really a bright light on there. So, friends, would you come over here? Hi, Carmelina Myers from Carmel, New York. Thank you for joining us. And everybody else, please remember, feel free to put your names and where you're viewing us from, and then you'll be eligible for the giveaway. So, hey, you guys want to come over and make a guest appearance?
Yes.
As I said, I'm broadcasting here from home where I have family and my 2 cats. And so why don't you come sit over here, and then you can block. I can block. Ooh, the sun is coming in. It says you have to crouch down. You have to crouch below the logo. There we go. This is Stacy, my husband, and can you come and make an appearance? You want to expose your head a little bit? There is my child. Bend down. I know. We got to get in between the logo and the light. We've got a whole lot of complicated lighting things here going on. So, do you want to say something? What do you have to say? Do you have something like really insightful and brilliant and wise to say?
Oh, yes, I've had I'm so full of insight and brilliance. No, I'm really excited. I'm very happy and proud of you, and it's an exciting moment in your life and career, and it's really great that you've gotten to the point where you feel like you're ready to write a book that really is kind of the culmination of your aspirations and dreams and visions and hopes for the world.
Thank you.
So congratulations.
How do you think this might be useful based on what you've looked at for educators? Now, Stacy was a teacher for 17 years?
Yeah.
17 years. How do you think this could be useful? I'm interviewing.
I think there's so many moments when educators feel discouraged, also have a hard time kind of seeing the big picture and how their struggle fits into a larger struggle with social justice and making sure that education is available for everyone. And I think this book would be a great resource and Bible for seeking out that kind of encouragement and hope, as well as kind of knowledge and wisdom that any educator would need in moments of crisis, but also in moments of inspiration when they're feeling very hopeful, not just when they're feeling struggling, but when they're feeling excited and hopeful. This book is also a way of pushing an educator onward. So,
thank you. That was quite nice. That actually reminds me, I won't ask Stacy to do this because it feels like just a tiny bit too much of a conflict of interest. But apparently Amazon reviews are very important in the first month that a book is out. And so if you wouldn't mind, once you've read some of Onward and feel comfortable reviewing it, writing an Amazon review, that would be fantastic. We have the first winner of our book giveaway. Thank you.
Sure.
What can we do about that? Blinding light. Blinding sunlight. We have the first winner of our book giveaway. Carmelina Myers, you have won a copy of Onward. So I will just need you to send me an email at elena@brightmorningteam.com with your address, and then I'll send you a book. And we're going to have another book giveaway. So if you are watching, please don't forget to put your name in. Oh, that's good right there. Almost, just about. Hi, Rocio, and hi, Gideon. Rocio, who is here from Oakland, is one of my former students. I taught her when she was in 3rd grade 20 years ago, Rocio. It's so meaningful. Oh, Rocio, so here's the passage I want to read. It's so amazing that you're here. Okay, so I want to read a little section called A Dive into Love. Each chapter has a section that explores a particular emotion, and this one is love. And so I'm just going to read a little bit. Okay. Why reflect on love in a book about resilience in schools or a chapter about telling empowering stories? Because love is the most powerful story we can tell. Love is a story that deserves to be told just as much as grief and pain. When I want to talk about my love for my students, I come up against the limits of terminology. Here in the West, in this era, we have a dearth of words for love. What might be the word I could use to describe the dense, saturated emotion I felt for my students? Right now, let's just use love and let stories define it. I didn't anticipate the expansive love that surged in me when 32 second graders burst in on that first September morning at Stonehurst Elementary in deep East Oakland. It was unexpected, uncomfortable, and unwieldy. Planning lessons and developing grading systems were easy in comparison to managing the consuming care I felt for Oscar and Manuel, for Billy and Lisette and Vanessa. Their names and faces come back without effort, even though 22 years have passed. We always remember first love. What if I asked you to tell me a story about a student you loved? I'd also want to know about the times when your heart has been broken, perhaps at school, perhaps beyond the classroom walls. Can you see me also simultaneously giving my assistant here that look like we're creating background noise here?
Yeah, that's blocking that light.
Wow. If you see, you forget that you're also on camera. I'm not going to read the rest of that section because it's long, but it does continue with some personal narrative and some reflection about the role of love and loving our students in schools. And whenever I do a workshop on this topic, I ask participants to tell a story about a student that they've loved. So on that note, I already offered some thank yous to the people who helped me tremendously in this book. And there's just so many that it's kind of overwhelming, and there are acknowledgments. But I do particularly just want to acknowledge and thank again a number of the readers of the early drafts of this book, starting with Judith Wallachow, Caitlin Schwartzman, Jessie Cordova, and Michelle Reinhardt, who read early drafts and gave me absolutely critical, invaluable feedback. This book is so much stronger because of their feedback. And also with the workbook, Laurelyn Whitfield helped tremendously to get the final manuscript together. So I want to now give you an activity that you can do that's in the workbook that will help you cultivate your resilience. And it's one of my favorite activities. It's in the chapter about seeing the bright spots. So many of you know that our brains have a negativity bias, and we notice challenges and threats and things that aren't going right much more often, much faster than we do everything going well. we literally need to rewire, reprogram our brains so that we can see, perceive the good things that are happening, the bright spots, the strengths in ourselves and in others. And so this activity is designed to help you see your own strengths, your own bright spots, your own contributions. And the activity is to set a timer on your phone to go off 3, 4, 5 times during a day. So maybe setting alerts for 10 in the morning and noon and 2 and 4. And when that timer goes off, it is a prompt to remind you to look for something that you're doing in that moment or that you've just been doing that reflects something you appreciate about yourself, a strength, a contribution, an asset. The first time I did this is seared into my memory because I was at the school where I was a coach and my alarm went off and I'd forgotten that I'd set it. And in that moment, I was in the hallway talking to the grandmother of a student who was telling me about her fears that her child had a learning difference. And he was in 8th grade and she'd never understood the process or what would happen if he got tested. And the alarm went off and I realized in that moment that that was a moment that otherwise I would have completely not registered, but that I was doing something that was incredibly helpful to this grandmother. I was taking 15 minutes or so, standing in the hallway and explaining the process with her and relieving her of her worries. And it's the kind of conversation that I had frequently with parents, grandparents, guardians, and just didn't register as this is something I'm doing right now that is positive, that's a contribution, that feels good, that I know is having a meaningful impact. And so try that out tomorrow. Set your timer. We're about to give the second book away, and I see there that Carmelina is excited for winning the book, and you are welcome. So if you are watching, please, you got another chance to put your name in. I'm going to close this, or almost close, with one more short reading from the end of the book, and then I'm going to share a few more resources. We have a second winner. I'm going to announce that right after I read my last passage. So this is actually from the conclusion. It's the last page of the book. And I'm reading it because I feel like it really reflects what I hope that this book will mean. I'm writing this conclusion during a period that feels like the most politically fragile, volatile, and terrifying of my life. It requires daily effort to stay above the swamp of fear and anger that threatens to pull me in. I find myself using resilience-boosting strategies more often than ever. The list of things that scare me include the rise in overt white supremacy and nationalism, climate change, and a political system that might be broken beyond repair. I have never felt such urgency to protect the planet, my African-American son's future, the civil liberties that many have enjoyed in the United States, and the honorable democratic ideals on which this country was founded. Our public schools face a constant threat as transactional leadership sweeps our education system, mandating how teachers teach and what they say, undermining a teacher's ability to know a child and make decisions based on that child's needs in that moment. The economic divide between the haves and the have-nots has never been greater. Securing funding for public schools feels like a daily battle. Yet I have no choice but to forge onward. I will wrap my stories around my shoulders like a cloak, sensing the resilience that runs through my veins. I will strengthen my compassion for myself and for others. I will rest and dance and eat nutritious, delicious food. I will name and honor my feelings. Hello, fear. Greetings, anger. I will accept them and know that they will visit from time to time, but that they do not have permanent residency in my being. I will pull closer my community that upholds me, and I will be here now, in this miraculous present moment, basking in the warmth of the morning sun on my skin and relishing my teenager's sharp sense of humor. I will float when I can in my own internal cenote, my reserves of resilience, and then I will proceed onward. I know that I am not alone. I hope to see you all on this journey, to link our arms and inspire each other and break bread together and tell stories of love, sadness, healing, and resistance. Also, I love board games and music and making drip castles on the beach, so let's play and have fun as well. Onward, ever onward. And that's the conclusion. Hopefully you'll read the whole book and get there yourself. In our last few minutes together, I want to share some resources as well as the winner of the 2 book giveaways. So let me tell you the resources first. I have built a whole new website for Onward the book. It is called, the website URL, onwardthebook.com, because I have so much to say about resilience. And I'm so excited to have Janet Baird joining me in creating this website. It's beautiful. I'm so grateful to Jonathan, who created it. If any of you ever need a web developer, I know the best guy ever. We are going to be adding content constantly. There's this YouTube channel, which I'm going to continue to build out. So please stay tuned. We have a Facebook page where we're going to have a group. I just feel like there's just this enormous amount that I am excited to share with you. I've written some more blogs about resilience, some really personal ones on that website. All right. The winners of the 2nd book. Winner is Luz Suarez. Congratulations, Luz. And the 3rd is Katie Jaron. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Katie. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But the 3 winners. The easiest way for you to find me is to go on to our website and you will find my link there. Otherwise, you can email me at Elena, E-L-E-N-A, at brightmorningteam.com. But I'm also easy to find, or you can, I'm easy to find. Find me on social media, send me a message. And I'm just seeing some other folks who have joined us. Krista Crone from Ohio and Debbie from Texas and Luz, a group of fans in Chapel Hill. I have loved visiting Chapel Hill, and I am doing a whole bunch of workshops this spring and fall, so definitely check out our Bright Morning website and see if we're going to be in a neighborhood. And thank you also to all my teammates who are here. I see that you're here, and I love you and appreciate your support so much. So the last, well, I'm going to get off in just a moment, but I'm going to show you what I am, sorry, a little achy, stretchy. So I am going to close this with a bottle of wine. I'm not going to drink the whole bottle. The wine is called Onward. There we go. Onward! I drink very little, and I bought this wine last October. Cheering for me. I bought the wine last October, and I thought, okay, we'll have the wine when I finished writing the book, which was November 1st. And then I don't know what happened. I finished and I was so exhausted. I was like, I really don't drink very much at all. So anyway, the wine didn't get drunk. And then I went to Spain. I drank a lot of wine there, but this has been in the fridge, and I figure, why not? So if any of you are having yourselves a glass of wine or tea or anything bubbly, whatever you might drink, then raise, oh, look at that. That's kind of cool. You can see through, look at how I positioned that. See, this is my creative artistic side coming out, which is coming out. And you can see that there. And I am going to put on some music for our celebration. Sorry, I'll get the technology piece down here. This was, oops, that did not happen. All right. Whoops. Oh, I'm hearing myself. No, we don't want to hear myself. Okay. Not going to put on some music. I'm just going to have a sip of my wine and say, would you do this with me so it's not as awkward? It's okay. We'll just say, salud, cheers, l'chaim, and thank you, honey, and to Onward. And thank you all for being a part of this, for being here today. Even though I can only really see your names there, it actually really means a lot to me. All right, we're still trying to coordinate the music here. There we go. I want to play Bella Ciao. This is the music. Oh, now we've got the commercial. This is the music of my childhood. It's the music of resistance and resilience. And YouTube has ads. Here we go. Bella Ciao. If any of you know this song and it means anything to you, then this is a song about freedom and resistance and resilience, and it's a song. It's music of my childhood and my ancestry. Oh, there we've even got some dancing. All right, I better say goodbye before I just keep babbling on and on and on. I'm going to play the slideshow one more time for you if you want to. If you missed at the beginning and you want to see again, thank you, and onward.
Partigiano, me voy contigo. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Partigiano, me voy contigo porque me siento aquí morir. Y si yo caigo en la guerrilla, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Si yo caigo en la guerrilla, te dejaré mi fusil. Cava una fosa en la montaña. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao. Cava una fosa en la montaña, a la sombra de una flor. Así la gente, cuando la vea, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Así la gente, cuando la vea, gritará revolución. Esta es la historia del guerrillero. Bella ciao, bella ciao.